Alright, Shalom. I want to begin by giving all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elected. Shalom to all the beloved Akim pushing this truth with sincerity. It's your brother Itazawan from the GMS Columbus, Ohio branch. Coming back again with another video through the Spirit. Lord's will is edifying. And pretty much just hit record video. Really just concerning the times, all right? A lot of Slovakia. Well, I say a big message of amongst GMS that's being pushed right now is concerning Jacob's trouble. Okay, you have a lot of guys who have, or camps who have pushed it aside, all right, who have not warned their congregation, all right, who have not stood upon that watchtower and been watchmen, as commanded, okay, and pretty much have shunned it, in the sense of they put it on the back burner. But now Jacob's trouble is speaking more than ever, okay? And, the way Esau Edom set it up, was magnificent, okay? He set it up, perfectly, okay? What Esau Edom has ultimately done, okay? He has, systematically, all right, created niggas, created, whores, all right, the thought culture, and, the Glorrillas, the Meg the Stallions, the NBA Youngboys, the King Vons. He has systematically created niggas, so ultimately he can purge niggas out of his society. Okay, and in that, also has linked you up, to the whole leftist agenda, all right, the BLMs, the civil rights parties, okay, the extremists, so on and so forth, Black Panther parties, etc. All right, he has, now linked niggas to all these left-handed, movements in the earth, okay, accompanied with LGBTQ, feminism, so on and so forth, you see? So Esau Edom has, played the cards of the wicked perfectly. All right, and we're seeing it being manifest. And now that he has done that, he has now an excuse to come down with that wrath, okay? Because ultimately Esau Edom understands and knows that he's at the end of his empire and things aren't really working for his turn. You see, so he's going out with the bang. He's going out with the boom. All right, and, we being the men of the Lord, calling ourselves Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, and ultimately prophets have to, pick up on these things, okay? And ultimately here in GMS we have, you see, and like I said, a lot of these other congregations, these other camps, have led the flock astray. Real quick, let's get Jeremiah 23 at the top. It says, "Woe be unto the pastors that destroyed and scattered the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahweh," right? A lot of people, a lot of men in Yasharallah have scattered the sheep. You see, led them astray. Okay, verses 2, it says, "Therefore, thus saith Yahweh God of Israel, against the pastors that fed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yahweh. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and I will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase," right? Ultimately, the elect, you see. But like I said, again, you have men out there, amongst the congregation, amongst the family tree of Yasharallah, who have led their followers, their sheep astray, you see. And a lot of people are not equipped, nor bracing for impact concerning Jacob's trouble. Now let's just go on to the scripture, the prophetic scripture, speaking of it. Jeremiah 30 verse 7 says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right now, we understand that ultimately Jacob has had, various troubles, okay, that we have been through in our respective captivities. But like the scriptures say, at last for that day is great, so that none is like it, right? Where is this going to happen and take place? Ultimately in the end times, okay? Like I said, Jacob is ultimately going to go through a trouble that is like none other, okay? Trouble that we have been upon or been in. Because just think now concerning, the troubles then. All right, it was pretty ultimately the same, the besiegings, the mass slaughtering via, the weapons of war at that time. But now we're dealing with a different beast. Okay, in the sense that this man has AI technology, drones, robots. All right, this man has upped the antics concerning, his engines of war, his deception, so on and so forth. You see, this man has leveled up in his war tactics, man. You see, so this is what we're closing into. This is what we're approaching. All right, a time like no other. Okay, because ultimately, when you think about it, when we were in our lands, a lot of the troubles happened, in a certain region or a certain realm or land, that we were in. But now this is going to be across the globe because we are scattered. You see, we are scattered. Okay, so this is going to affect, throughout the whole planet. All right. Just like I said, you had periods and times where, it was a lot of conflict. All right, but this is going to touch everywhere. All right. This is going to touch everywhere. And ultimately, you look at how much the population in the earth has grown. Like I said, this is going to affect the whole planet. Okay. And this is what we're approaching. A time of trouble, perilous times. Let's get 2 Timothy 3 at the top. It says this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, right? So it all is in sync. Jacob's trouble, the perilous times, the dangerous times in the last end are the time like no other. It all, has one common denominator, man. You see? All these things are pretty much respectively talking about the same thing. All right, the troublous times, so on and so forth, you see? And this is what we're approaching. It's no doubt about it. All right, the grinding is ceasing. The vintage is failing. We're seeing people lose their shits, lose their wits. Okay? It's happening. And like brother's been saying, we're pretty much in the first stages of Jacob's trouble when you see it. Because what's happening in the planet Earth concerning Trump and his, his governing body and the legislations, etc., that they are, signing off on, so on and so forth, is affecting you niggas the most. Okay? And like I said, they linked, niggas to all these programs and leftist things, so on and so forth. And now they're starting to cut these things. All right? And like I said, it's ultimately, whooping Jake ass. Okay? And, Esau, Edom, and his citizens, too, because they're going to go through it, too. All right? But the target audience is you niggas, man. The target audience is you niggas. All right? And there's been talks about different pastors, etc., coming out. I don't know if I can get anything. I think the elder.
Also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a...
It says MAGA pastor calls for executing rebellious black men. See? So, like I said, the target audience is niggas, man. Okay? That hatred, that Esau Edom has for you niggas has not ended. All right? It don't matter how much, niggas try to fight for rights, so on and so forth. Esau Edom is still going to hate you. Let's get that in Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. Ezekiel 35 at the top, it says, Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith Yahweh God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. See, Mount Seir going into ultimately Esau, Edom, the people. And I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. That perpetual hatred, or perpetual, goes into continual, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. All right, so Esau, Edom, since he lost his blessing, all right, has had a perpetual hatred, all right, towards his brother Jacob, all right, and his descendants. You see, it's a spiritual feud that's just ultimately embedded in our spirits, to be contrary to each other. The so-called white race, all right, which is the Edomites, all right, and the Israelites, which, stems from you Negroid, Latino, and Native American tribes. See, that's why, this vast history is towards you, all right, this feud, okay? Let's get one more precept. This ain't gonna be long. Gotta get to the second gig, but it was something else I was meditating on, concerning the times, because Trump said he's ultimately the president of peace. And I was thinking about this scripture, this First Thessalonians 1 at the First Thessalonians 5 at the top. It says, But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahweh so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, right? So, this is the message that's trying to be pushed in the planet Earth is peace, the golden age of America. I'm going to end all wars, etc. But no, all right? As you can see, all those promises, etc., that your man DJ Trump has promised have been lies. Or he hasn't, kept his end of the bargain, man. And has been the complete opposite. It has been chaos, been more mass shootings, more high-profile deaths in the earth. You see, like I said, mass shootings, schools getting shut up, people tweaking, people just losing it, taxation, what else? Inflation. You see, it has been the complete opposite, man, because what? The Lord is about to pull the plug on Babylon the Great. All right? It says as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief, right? So we see what's happening, all right? We have been linking the pieces, the puzzle together. We see Esau Edom's tactic, how, like I said, he's ultimately going to, try to perform the order of chaos, tactic, all right, where, through chaos, he will bring order, pass more legislations, in order to forward his NWO. You see? So, the stage is set, and we're on it. All right, and the light's on us. So, for us beloved Akim out there, while Aquaf, you sincere brother and sister. All right, all we got to do is stand firm and be steadfast, okay? And continue to trust in Yahweh Shai, okay, as we draw nigh. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse, man. That's why it's the time to be vigilant, be on point, be more out the way, be more discreet, have more discernment, okay, and put off what Jake need to put off. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, okay, but this devil's about to come with some things, man. We are in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, whether Jake believe it or not, okay. I want to put some on wax real quick before I hit the plantation, like the scripture states, stay vigilant, But Lord's word, this was edifying and exhorting to whoever may receive it. And give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechai Kodash. Shalom.